Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. I'm here again with Chicago Restaurateur Jason Chan. And today we're going to talk about also our second part of the conversation on endurance. So don't go anywhere. Check it out. Well, my friends, super happy to be here with you once again. If you missed episode number 1 with my friend Jason Chan here on endurance, please go back and check it out. It's an awesome episode you don't want to miss. And Jason, how was your meal today?
It was excellent. It always is.
It was good. So we are still here at Palace Grill. We recorded the previous episode before the meal came. It came during the episode. Now we already had it. So if you want to see what we ate, you gotta go back and check out the previous episode. So Jason, for friends who are watching maybe this for the first time, tell us a little bit really quickly about yourself. What is it that you do?
Sure. I'm a local restaurateur, born and raised in Chicago. Done everything from independent small restaurants of my own to working with big corporations and companies. But it all started with my mother and father.
Very cool. That's a great start.
Absolutely.
And the more I know you as we had these conversations, more great surprises I know about you, which is pretty awesome. And we're talking about endurance, right? And that's episode we really spent time talking about the necessity of endurance and the importance of looking at 2019 as we begin the year with optimism, with positivity in mind. We don't know what the years are going to be like, but we know one thing is how we can respond to whatever comes our way. Right?
Absolutely.
And at the end of the episode, as you shared your Instagrams, it's I Fight Dirty. That's your Instagram name. You Fight Dirty. So tell us why you fight dirty and where that comes from.
Sure. Well, it started out, I grew up on the far south side, 53rd and Lakeshore Drive. And then in 3rd grade, because I kept getting beat up so much, my parents decided to move us to the polar opposite end, 5300 North.
Okay.
On the north side.
Right.
And then from 3rd grade on, up throughout high school, growing up in the streets in Chicago at a time in Chicago, where gangs were very prevalent and street crime, I quickly learned and developed my own style of martial arts. And it was really the art of fighting dirty. In the street, for lack of a better word, you fight like a girl. You pull hair, you bite, you kick, you punch in the cash and prizes. So really, one of the things that led me to the martial art that I now teach and practice for the last 20 years is a very realistic or reality fighting system. It's because it's based on real fighting in the street as it applies to street fighting and fighting in real situations.
Cool. Is there a name for that particular
Yes.
thing? So let's go.
I've been teaching and practicing Shidokan. Shidokan martial arts is a Japanese hybrid martial arts. It is the original MMA as modern day United States knows mixed martial arts. So it was the originator. 15 years before the first UFC, the Chicago Fitness Center Shidokan dojo was doing tournaments on ESPN and pay-per-view, and essentially what it is it's the first 3 rounds is bare knuckle traditional karate. Then the next 3 rounds are Muay Thai, and then the last 3 rounds are Jiu-Jitsu grappling.
Wow, that's great. So I think that also goes really well with the idea of endurance, right?
Yes.
Because it builds your physical endurance as well and your mental endurance as well.
Absolutely. So I think I owe a lot of my self-awareness and a lot of my endurance to martial arts. I think you really can't become self-aware until you know what you love and who you are. And here's what martial arts really teaches you as a younger person. It teaches you self-esteem, self-defense, self-confidence, self-awareness. So you learn a lot about yourself. And what you really realize is through whatever, and you said it earlier, everything in life is 99% how you react to it. Everything's going to happen. Whether it's good or bad, that's not for you to decide.
Right.
What is for you to decide is something happens, and then you decide to react to it. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? So I always react to things. I don't react. I think about what has happened, and I try to make it a good thing. And really, as you go along in life, as you get older in life, you realize everything that happens, some people might think it's bad, but in some way it was really a blessing in disguise.
Right.
When I got told I had cancer, I gotta be honest. The first thing I did is what I do when I defend myself in the street, or as a martial artist, what I do in the dojo. I didn't react. I thought about it, and I said, okay, well now I have to, this is another fight.
Right.
And so I have to react to this accordingly. And so what I told myself is, I've been just given a diagnosis, and what I'm going to do with it is champion it. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm very strong. I've worked out for the last 20 years of my life every day. And so I'm prepared and ready to battle anything, especially a disease. And so with that being said, I get a lot of my sense of awareness, self-awareness, and endurance from my passion, from what I love. Martial arts is something that I'm very passionate about. It's who I am, and really what it is about is becoming a better person. How do I become more every day? And I utilize martial arts through my students, what I teach them, but more importantly, what I learn from teaching other people. I really get a lot of knowledge, and I really draw from a well that teaches me what I learn about myself every day. And that is, everybody can doubt me. I'll never doubt myself. Everybody and everything can put limits on you, but you can never put a limit on yourself. And that's how you beat endurance.
Absolutely, that is awesome. I think that by itself, that was really awesome advice. And here, in Breakfast with Sergio, a lot of artists watch this from around the world, and it's pretty cool because we talk a lot about the things that we endure throughout the year as artists. Rejection, which is typical, right? You want to grow and you want to show your art, and sometimes you get rejected over and over. How do you deal with rejection in your own experience in your life too? For example, I assume in the restaurant industry, what if people didn't like the dish or something that you had created? How do you deal with rejection?
Well, it's funny.
Without fighting them, right?
I can explain it two ways, because I've been interviewed a lot, and when I'm interviewed, people always ask me, how did you get such a great reputation at being so good at hospitality? And I'm very honest with them. I'm so great at hospitality because I'm really, really good at apologizing to other people for things that aren't my fault.
There you go. Great advice.
And on the other side of the coin, when people reject you, oftentimes it has nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of themselves. So what you can't do is, again, not react to it and say, okay, well, they rejected me because of me. So the first thing you have to do is not think it's good or bad, and not put it on yourself, and realize, well, that person's obviously saying no for a reason. And it's a reason that has something or everything to do with who they are, not with who I am.
Okay. Very cool. That's awesome, Jason. Thank you so much. Well, as we wrap up this episode and this second part of the episode, so again, if you've missed the first one on endurance, you gotta check it out. It's a really great conversation. Now, the most difficult question of them all, which is, what is your favorite breakfast?
So
breakfast with
yeah. So my favorite breakfast
of choice
is cold dinner leftovers.
Really?
Cold chicken, cold spaghetti, even cold steak. Really? I don't heat it up.
You just grab it out of the
fridge? When food is cold, it actually has more flavor.
Okay.
It's certainly the case with like white wine and champagne. You chill it because you can taste more of the flavor. It brings out more of the flavor. But my favorite breakfast food is dinner from last night. And usually what happens is, going back to the last episode, it's not really about what you ate, but who you ate it with. So that is now a trigger that takes me back to the meal and says, oh, well, hey, you're taking home a pancake right now. Right? Yeah. So when you eat that later, it's going to take you back to this. Exactly, it's going to take you back to this meal and who you shared it with, and
exactly.
And hopefully it's a good memory.
That's a big surprise. I did not expect that one. That is so good. Well, my friends, thank you so much for watching Breakfast with Sergio. Where can we follow you on social media, particularly on Instagram?
Absolutely. My name or my tag on Instagram is I Fight Dirty.
And if you want some inspiration every day, you gotta follow Jason and you gotta check out his stories every day. They're awesome.
Thank you.
Jason, continue inspiring us.
Thank
you so much for your time here.
My pleasure.
I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. It's been awesome.
It was my honor. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
friend. We'll see you in the next episode. Breakfast with Sergio. Please share this episode with all your friends. Goodbye.